Hello everyone, it's Olivia here, and welcome back to your weekly County Council recap. If you missed the May 7th Planning Committee meeting, don't worry. I've got you covered with everything you need to know in the next 5 to 7 minutes. So stay tuned and let's get started. First up, the committee called the meeting to order, noted absences, and quickly approved the minutes from the previous meeting. And that's just us warming up, because there's only 3 committee members present, and for anything to pass through committee, you need 3 out of 5 votes. And council members Kaua'i and Bulasan were absent, so everybody there would unanimously need to approve the bill going forward for it to proceed. But wait, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit too much. Bill 2951 is an ordinance that could reshape how commercial events like farmers markets and artisan fairs are allowed to operate in parks and other non-commercial areas. Councilmember Kaneshiro introduced amendments to the bill, largely based on public feedback from the first reading. He walked us through changes, some just housekeeping, and others more substantial. One major concern from the public: lack of input from neighbors. To address that, the new amendment now requires notification to property owners within 300 feet. If more than 50% object, the event can proceed until it gets a full use permit. And even then, approval is still unlikely if, 50% of people is already saying no. There's also a clause allowing neighbors to object later. If more than half raise concerns during the year, the planning department can retract the event's approval. Think of it as a built-in accountability switch. The amendment also includes 20 new items, from zoning table tweaks to new definitions, and clarifies that no parcel can host more than 2 market events per week without extra permits. There's now a clear distinction between Farmers Market 1, 2, and Artisan Market 1 and 2, each with their own specific limits. As for public parks, the council clarified that even if this bill passes, the Parks Department still needs time, potentially up to 18 months, to create administrative rules and processes. So don't expect a market to pop up at Poipu Beach Park overnight. Council members also discussed enforcement and confirmed that violations are still complaint-driven. If there's an issue, it'll be investigated and responsibility lands on the landowner or the county, not individual vendors. In the end, the committee unanimously approved the amendment. One council member introduced a second amendment to ensure that products at these markets, and artisan markets, to be clear, must be handcrafted and locally made. No mass-produced imports or Costco pineapples labeled local. That council member emphasized the goal is to support local agriculture and artisans, not open the door for imported souvenir markets. This amendment would have added stricter language limiting vendor products to only locally made goods.
No, do nothing. They're not going to listen. I'm prepared to just ask Ms. Cowden to withdraw the amendment, and then we can move on. I heard enough. It's okay to change your mind on this table.
However, his amendment didn't gain traction and ultimately failed. And this is mostly because kind of quantifying that is a little bit hard. There are made in Hawaii festivals that we heard. So we had public testimony come forward and just say that the issue is a bit complex. We get the sentiment behind making it only local, but ultimately that amendment did not go through. On the flip side, Councilmember Felicia Cowden expressed cautious support for the bill, especially for community use facilities. And I say cautious because although she wanted to support the bill, she was planning to vote no, up until around the very end. She appreciated that most of these spaces already have governing boards or oversight, providing built-in accountability, but she raised real concerns about potential commercialization of public beach parks and questioned the enforcement burden, especially with existing staff shortages. Her takeaway: it's progress, but we need to keep a close watch on how this plays out, especially in high traffic or sensitive areas. So like I said before, not all committee members were present for this vote. With attendance light, Councilmember Felicia Cowden's concerns held extra weight because any bill needs a majority of the full council to pass. Her decision to withhold support effectively would pause the process for about a month and a half, and there was a room full of Princeville farmers market people who used to work there that got shut down after a complaint that was waiting for her decision. So her vote no would have paused the process.
And for any of those who have come in with respectful behavior and have behaved respectfully to the community, I will let it go today.
But in the end, at the very end, she voted yay. So the bill did not stay in committee, where it would have stayed for another month and a half. Final notes: the council agreed that this is a step in the right direction. With these amendments, the bill balances community input, local economic opportunity, and local land use protections. So that's it for this week's recap. I was just at the county building recording budgeting season and the final decision making. So for full coverage, visuals, and supporting documents, check out our full YouTube channel description down there and listen to the podcast whenever you get your news. Stay informed, stay involved, and stay rooted. This is Olivia, signing off.